Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Jackie and welcome to my channel, Leisure Reads. In this video I'm going to bring you guys my booktube-a-thon 2018 wrap-up. So let's get started. So the first book I read for booktube-a-thon was for the challenge, let a coin toss decide your first read and read a book with a beautiful spine. And that was Everyone's an Alien When You're an Alien Too by Johnny Sun. This book was probably one of my favorite reads this week. It has such a short amount of text and big pictures throughout, yet Johnny Sun was able to capture so much in this tiny book, and I think it really speaks to him as a writer that he was able to take such small text, get across such a powerful message that most full-length novels have a hard time getting to. So if you don't know, this book follows the main character Johnny, who is this little alien. He is sent to Earth to research humankind. So this book just follows his adventure on Earth, interacting with Earth, and the things he learns along the way. This book is super sweet. It made me laugh, smile, and even cry. This book just has such pure emotion in it, and some of the passages and the meaning that Johnny Sun really gets to in this book is so powerful that it moved me to tears. It's an absolutely beautiful book, and I would highly recommend for anybody to read it. The next book I have for you guys today helped me complete the challenge, read a book with green on the cover, and read and watch a book-to-movie adaptation, and that is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. If you don't know, this is one of my favorite books. I was super excited to be able to read it for booktube-a-thon, and instead of reading the physical copy, it was my first time listening to the audiobook. The audiobook that I picked out was narrated by William Hope. He does an absolutely fantastic job with this book. He is able to take on each character and embody them perfectly. I highly recommend listening to the audiobook by William Hope. It's a great way to read this book. I know Fitzgerald's writing style isn't for everybody, but I personally love it. I think his language allows me to capture and become unraveled in this wonderful setting that he creates. He ends up with some beautiful passages that will last for years and years in my mind. He creates such wonderful, complex characters that some of them you love to hate and others you just love. Gatsby is my favorite. I know that he's a flawed character, but even with his flaws, I still think that he tries to be the best person he can be. He truly loves Daisy, and he really is worth the whole damn bunch. Although this book covers some dark and difficult ideas, I always find myself at the end in a great mood and happy that I read it. And I think that's truly because of not only Gatsby's character, but just Fitzgerald's writing, and the final passage in the book is my absolute favorite in this book. The day I finished reading this, I came home and I watched the movie adaptation with Leonardo DiCaprio with my husband. He had never seen it before. It was his first time ever watching it. We both absolutely loved it. The casting is fantastic in that movie, and I honestly could never see anybody playing Gatsby as well as Leonardo DiCaprio does. But I think that's enough of me talking about this book, so I'm going to move on. The next book I read for booktube-a-thon was the book that helped me complete the challenge, read about something you've always wanted to do, and that is Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne. I chose this book because obviously the main character is challenged to travel the world in 80 days. I absolutely love travel. It's something I've always wanted to do, and so I thought this book would be a great choice for that. I enjoyed this book. It wasn't my favorite that I read. Ultimately, at the end of it, I just felt like I'd never really connected with the characters or with the book in general. I did enjoy the adventures that Phileas has around the world. I can honestly say I just don't think this is a book that's going to last with me. The next book I read was Alice's Adventure in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. This is the first time I've ever read this book. I decided to listen to the audiobook. I really enjoyed Carroll's writing style, and I found myself completely immersed into the world of Wonderland. I really enjoyed it. I think I gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars. I'm really glad I read it, and I'm excited to read Through the Looking Glass soon. The 5th challenge I completed was to read a book while wearing the same hat. And for that challenge, I chose The Killing Joke by Alan Moore. So I chose this book because it's short in length, and I wouldn't have to wear the hat for that long. My husband had recommended this book to me. He said he really enjoyed it, and it was actually too short for him, as he would have preferred to read a little bit more. I felt the same way. This book was also too short for me. I actually read it during commercial breaks of the episodes of Big Brother that I had missed this season, and I wish it would have lasted longer so that I really could have learned a little bit more and just enjoyed the story a little longer. If you don't know, this is a Batman comic that focuses on one of the villains, the Joker. This comic elaborates on who the Joker is and what caused him to be the way he is. It is part of an origin story of the Joker, and I really enjoyed it. I really thought it was great to see what events happened in the Joker's life to make him the way he is today, and I think it allows you to understand the Joker a little bit more than you had before. I really enjoyed this. It's one of the best comics I've read, and I would highly recommend it to anybody who enjoys reading comics and getting a glimpse of what allowed a villain to be the way they are. The final book I completed during booktube-a-thon was Dawn by Elie Wiesel. So if you don't know, this is book number 2 in the Night trilogy. The first book, Night, is actually a memoir of the author's experience during the Holocaust, including his time spent at a concentration camp. Book 2 is actually a fictional account of what could have happened had, at the end of the war, he been sent to Palestine instead of the United States. I can't say too much about this book without spoiling it for you, as it's only 80 pages long. I will say that this book follows the main character and his thought process in trying to justify his actions so he does not think of himself as the way he thinks of the people who made him a victim during the Holocaust. This book is very interesting. I haven't read very many like it, and I would highly recommend it to somebody who would enjoy reading about the complexities of making decisions and how those decisions affect you as a person. The last book I have, I actually started during booktube-a-thon, but because my week ended up a little bit busier than I anticipated, I unfortunately did not finish it. And that book is V for Vendetta, also by Alan Moore. I started this book Saturday morning, and I made it about a third of the way in. However, my dad called me and asked me if I could come over to his house and help him with some errands around the house. So I was not able to read much this weekend. However, I am really enjoying this graphic novel. I think the main character V is very interesting. I really enjoy learning about his background, and he is a complex character in that he is maybe not doing things that you would agree with, but at the same time, you struggle with kind of siding with him throughout the whole thing. You know what he's doing is wrong, but you understand it. V is a pretty funny character. He's interesting to read about, and I look forward to reading the rest of this book, learning a little bit more what happened in V's past and why he is the way he is. So that's it. I managed to complete 6 out of the 7 challenges for booktube-a-thon. The only challenge I did not complete being read 7 books in 7 days, as I only read 6. I started the 7th book and didn't get a chance to finish it because I was helping family. All in all, I'm pretty proud of myself. This is my first readathon ever, and I managed to complete 6 out of the 7 books in 7 days. I read 6 books. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm really looking forward to Spookathon this fall and Booktube-a-thon again next year. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on Instagram, Goodreads, and Twitter. The links are in the description below. I hope to see you guys again soon, and in the meantime, make it a great day. Bye!